Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 15, Behind the Scenes, When Someone Leaves, and Other Trashy Stories. Want to do a quick reminder, our newest album, Remember, is on sale at ballinthehouse.com at our web store. With all the tough times that are going on, this has been the fundraiser that we've been doing. We set it up as a pay what you want, so we hope that you'll check it out and hopefully get some great music from it. So what happens when someone leaves? Over 20 years of being in a band, it's happened to us a number of different times. With me, as the founder, I've gone through all of them. And there have been some that have been, yay! There have been some down, out and out fights. There have been some really sad times. Ben, our most recent person who left back in July, he had some personal situations that coalesced all around the same time that made that situation tough, but inevitable for him. That transition from Ben to Kevin was actually really, really easy. We knew Kevin and had worked with them a number of times as a substitute, and we had time to work on that transition. Ben knew he was going to leave 4 or 5 months before he actually did, and stuck around to allow us to be able to find that replacement, train that replacement. When Monty came in, on the other hand, he had 2 weeks of learning music and then had to jump on stage and do a 2-hour show and learn about 20 songs. Jumping in and trying to do that many songs for your first time in a live performance can be really, really tough. So the transitions from one person to the next is such a huge, huge part of this. I will say that the bonds that are formed from us performing together, from us touring together and spending so much time together can be really, really tight and really grow strong in such a short amount of time. And so it can be really heartbreaking when someone wants to leave. Sometimes the touring can be just a huge impediment in people's personal lives. There have been marriages, babies, and all kinds of other reasons that, are very understandable. The fights that have happened have often come from friction in creativity and personalities. When you're trying to express yourself creatively, you're throwing out ideas, and when you're performing on stage, it can leave you feeling really vulnerable. If there's people that are too self-conscious about ever being criticized, or just a bad show can really get to them, it can really put people at odds about what they want to do versus the actual doing of it. And that's the main thing that's led to a few of the fights that have just caused things to erupt and caused people to leave the band. And a couple of people left because of the pressure. And being on the road and needing to be at the top of your game all the time, that can take a toll on some people. And unfortunately, there have been a couple of people who the pressure changed them. We could see changes in personality and the way that people had interacted with people in the band. There's other things about it that are just tearing them apart. And thankfully, a few of the people that fell in that category are all doing fantastic. There have been some times where we have specifically asked people to leave. There was something going on, a personality clash, a musical problem, just something that was stopping in the way of them growing as a person and us growing together as a band. But when someone decides to leave, one of the biggest things that we have to do is figure out that transition and how we move on. Auditions, of course, that can be really nerve-wracking. But there's so many reasons why we would take one person over another. We've had some amazingly talented singers audition for the band, but for various reasons just weren't right. Some people have had fantastic voices, but stylistically weren't right for the band. Oh, that's so tough to turn down just an amazing voice, but know that it would really completely change the personality of who we are and the type of music that we do. There have been some people that jumped into this thinking, yeah, full-time musician, this is going to be great. And then the reality of it sets in once you start touring, once you start performing, and you realize this is the job. This is your livelihood. Your work depends on this. You need to be on. You need to work really hard. You can't slack off. Other people aren't going to do stuff for you. Many people think they want that, but when they actually do it, get into it, it can totally change their viewpoint of what they thought it was going to be. A big part of those auditions is taking that person out on tour so that we can sing together, try and insert them in shows, spend time and see how we all get along. I remember we had one guy who auditioned, we went on the road with him down to a show we had in New York City. And as we're driving through the city on the way to the gig, this guy rolls down the window and he starts catcalling to women on the sidewalk. Obviously, he got a no. It's the personality, it's the voice is part of it, but it's their performance style, the music that they like. Will they be happy doing what we do? Do they have some knowledge or skill that they can bring to the band that will help us overall grow? Now, I mentioned trashy stories, but that's not going to be dirt about specific people. I'm not going to go there. I apologize, but that's not me. But I did want to talk real quick about something that I noticed on our last tour, and that was the environmental impact of all the trash that we had. I know, don't turn it off just yet, but just wanted to say real quick that every little thing that you do can make a difference. We can see the impact of all this trash piling up, from stopping at rest stops, disposable containers, plastic bottles, things like that, and just trying to switch to reusable water bottles. Just keep our own fork, knife, and spoon that we can use and wash. Has made a little bit of difference, not a lot, but some of these things, they're just not hard to do. Earlier this year, we switched over from disposable batteries to rechargeable batteries, and that was a huge thing. It's actually been fantastically better. It's been cheaper. We always have a full set. We can charge them and know we have a full charge. And it's been great. So there definitely are some instances where things you do can actually be better for you. Not just for the environment, but better and easier for you. So just keep your eye out for those little things you can do. Even if you can't change your whole lifestyle, just be aware of little things that could make a big difference. That's our little PSA for the day. But thanks for listening. If you made it all the way through here, we hope you are well, and we'll talk to you next time.